Agenda item number 1 is to receive presentation from HDR Architecture, Inc. regarding jail design and cost estimates. Kurt, I'll let you make introductions and y'all go ahead and get started.
Thank you. To my right here, we have Larry Hartman. Larry Hartman is...
Press that button, make sure Larry mics on. Thank you.
There we go. Is that better? To my right here is Larry Hartman. Larry is the project designer we've had working on this project as we've gone through the conceptual design phase, and he'll be presenting today as well. And to my left is Jeff Goodale. Jeff is our National Director of Detention Facilities for our company, HDR. So he's with us here today also to answer any questions you may have as we go through the project design. Okay. All right, we're ready. Thank you. Well, we're very, very happy to be here and present the conceptual design we've been working on for the project for the past several weeks. We've had a lot of meetings with the Sheriff's Office, with the jail administrator, and with various Smith County people to talk about, where this project needs to go, the size of the project, how many beds we want to build, obviously the project cost, project schedule, just a whole lot of information that we've gone through in the last several weeks to get to the point we are today. So we're going to present to you, where we're at, and view this as a workshop session where we can, discuss things with you, get your input, and we have a lot to show you. So we'll get started. Okay. As you all know, when Carter Goebel Lee did your space study analysis for you about a month ago, when they came here and presented their findings. This is the projected bed space needs that they came up with. They came up with a number of different ways to determine what your projected bed space need would be. And this is a compilation of those. And this was taken directly out of the study that Carter Goebel Lee did for you to show you where you're going to be in the future in terms of number of beds that you need for your county jail. So obviously this is a very important piece of information for us as we begin establishing how many beds to build, what's the cost going to be, and all that. So this is kind of what we use as our starting point. And you can see in the year 2017 you're at 1,433 beds, and it goes up from there. So we've used those numbers as we've developed our space program for the project and tried to figure out the best potential solution for this building project. This then is a breakdown of the different types of beds that we would put into this facility. As I mentioned, we've worked closely with Chief Pinkerton and Garmin and the sheriff as we've gone through the jail project and looked at what types of beds do you need to build. We've looked at your historic information in terms of classification of inmates at your jail, and this is a good synopsis of what you would need, the different types of beds you would need to build. We looked at your classification mix that you currently have and used that to forecast the types of beds you would need in the future. Now, along with that, we've worked with the Texas Jail Commission. They have specific percentages of beds that you need to build of each type when you build a facility. So we've also taken that into consideration as we've developed these bed needs. So what we have developed there is we have at the top there maximum security beds, 48 of those. Those are single bunk cells. Those are your most expensive, or almost your most expensive cells to build. Then you have medium high. Those cells are double bunk cells, and we have 192 beds of that. Then we have medium, which are multiple occupancy cells. Those will have between 6 and 8 bunks per cell. We have 288 beds of that. Then we have the dormitory, or what we call low risk housing, and we have 480 beds of that. The separation cells, which are single bunk cells used to manage your difficult inmate population. We have 56 beds of that. And then we have an infirmary that will be used to house inmates that have medical problems and issues and those kinds of things. We have 40 beds in the infirmary. So those are you can see the total new beds that we're looking at building at this point for this conceptual design is 1,104. And then we have the existing beds at your current central jail that we're planning to do a little bit of renovation work in, just to kind of bring them up to a little bit better standard, maybe fix some of the door hardware, maybe fix some of the control mechanisms, the control wiring, the AV systems, and so forth in the existing jail. So you have those 272 beds to your new beds, and you have a total of 1,376 beds that we're looking at building for this conceptual design. As we go through the square footage and the numbers later, there's also built into the program that we've designed an additional 96 beds that we're shelling out in the base project. So that would be also added to that at a very minimal cost. This then is the existing site plan, and what we've been tasked with doing is coming up with a conceptual design that basically, exists around the existing jail. We've looked at the property, and you can see that this is the way the current existing jail lays out on the site. The next slide is just a quick three-dimensional analysis of the properties surrounding the jail. You can see what we like to do is pinpoint parking areas, look at traffic flows, look at those kinds of things that will have an impact on how the facility functions and operates. And a large part of this solution is that we will be demolishing the Smith County office building, which is that tall grayish structure in the center, along with the parking garage that's next to it, and also one of the adjacent properties to the north of it. So that really becomes the area that we're going to build upon for this conceptual design. It's just another shot of that, looking at it from the south. The main entrance for this jail facility will be on Elm Street. These are just a few shots of your existing facilities over there. One looking down Spring Street in your upper right, and then one obviously looking at the Smith County office building tower that's currently there that will be torn down. And then lower right is looking at that parking lot that currently exists on the north side of your existing jail facility. And then the final one on the lower left is looking up Spring Street as you're really seeing almost at the, let's see, I'm looking back at your existing jail, looking down Elm Street. So then this is what we have developed for the conceptual solutions. As we started to look at the different types of housing that you need, it became evident that there's a very large portion of it that's going to be low-risk housing. It's going to be a dormitory type setting. That kind of construction is less expensive to build, and it has a little bit different management style than your normal jail beds will have. Different in that you have some type of work release population that will come and go to the jail. You have a lot of turnover in the low-risk housing area. So what we looked at is separating that housing wing out and taking it away from the taller jail tower, which you see on the lower left. We are connecting the low-risk housing wing to the existing jail. It will connect on the first floor and also at the second level. And so that's up in the upper right corner. The lower left is what is the current site where the Smith County office building is located. And we're looking at putting a jail tower there that would house a lot of all of the additional the other beds for this jail facility. Over on the you can see where the existing jail is located there. On the south side of that is the staff entry that will be on the south side off of Elm Street. Then you can see a vehicle sally port entry right next to that. That's where the vehicle sally port will be located for the facility. This will be a large vehicle sally port. I think we're currently showing 11 cars being able to be parked in that secured sally port. Also, there's space to bring in the big buses and things like that for transferring inmates and that kind of thing. The sally port exits back out onto Elm, where the dot is shown there. Also, we have the main entry for the new jail tower shown down there along Elm Street. And then to the left, we're showing a landscape buffer that kind of separates the jail tower from Broadway Avenue. We looked at this as being fairly important as you come into downtown from the south, or as you visit, this street or this facility from downtown. It's going to set back just a little bit from Broadway. This gives us the opportunity to put in some landscaping, maybe soften that edge of the facility, and maybe make it blend nicely with the downtown area. Up on the north side, the upper side of the jail tower there, we have a drive-through area. We're looking at closing Spring Avenue in this solution, and we have a small turnaround shown there. However, we're also going to maintain a drive-through along the north